Are you feeling like life is random, throwing stuff at you? It's like a soup and you're only given a fork to handle it. It feels unfair, right? Because, hello, I have dreams, I have ambitions, but somehow they seem so unable to reach. All the energy you put into it seems to have been in vain. There is a gap between the person you are today, the life you live, and the person you really want to be in life. You have big dreams and small daily goals. Yet it often feels like reaching these goals requires becoming an entirely different person, someone with endless discipline, willpower, and motivation, someone who understands life. Maybe you've tried hard to be that person. You followed a strict routine, pushed yourself for a few weeks, and started seeing progress, only to slip back into old habits. Each time this happens, the disappointment and frustration grow. You might even start to believe the hustle culture message that failure means you didn't want it enough, or that you're simply not disciplined. But here's the truth. Change is hard, and it's not entirely your fault. Understanding why change is challenging and how our brains work when forming new habits can make a huge difference. In this video, we'll break down the science of habit formation and provide practical tips for creating lasting change. Here's how it works. Imagine your brain as a dense, tangled jungle. Navigating this jungle, deciding to start a new habit or make a different choice, is like cutting through thick undergrowth. It's exhausting, and our brains naturally resist this effort to save energy. To make things easier, our brains form paths based on repeated actions and decisions. Each time you repeat a behavior, you trample down a bit more of this mental undergrowth, creating a trail. The more you repeat a habit, the more defined this path becomes, turning from a trail into a road and eventually a highway. Over time, these well-worn paths feel familiar, comfortable, and automatic. The problem is, many of these paths lead us back to old habits rather than new ones. These mental highways make it easy to keep doing what we've always done, even when we want to change. Building new habits means creating new trails in the jungle of our brain, which requires patience, repetition, and small, manageable steps. Before we can change our habits, it's essential to understand the difference between routines and habits. A routine is a sequence of actions that we repeat because they work well for us, like cooking a favorite recipe or setting an alarm before bed. Routines are deliberate and require thought and planning. A habit, on the other hand, is an automatic behavior that doesn't require much thought. Habits are triggered by cues in our environment, like reaching for your phone as soon as you see it on your desk. While routines are directed by our wise planner brain, the part responsible for making careful decisions, habits are governed by our impulsive toddler brain, which responds to immediate cues and rewards. To create new habits, we need to harness both parts of our brain, allowing the wise planner to establish the behavior and the toddler to respond to consistent triggers. Step 1. Define your goal in simple terms. Start with a small, clear goal rather than an abstract or large one. For example, instead of saying, "I want to get fit," aim for something specific, like do 10 squats every morning. When a goal is too big, it's easy to get discouraged, so break it down into manageable actions that are achievable and easy to repeat. Step 2. Use triggers to activate your new routine. Habits rely on triggers, cues in your environment that signal it's time to start the action. Identify a reliable daily trigger for your new habit. It could be a time of day, like first thing in the morning, an object, like putting on your workout gear, or a specific place, like the park near your home. By consistently associating your action with a trigger, you make it easier for your brain to recognize and activate the behavior. Step 3. Make the habit enjoyable. One reason we fall back on old habits is that they're often immediately satisfying. New habits, especially healthy ones, might not feel rewarding at first. Try adding an enjoyable element to make the habit more appealing. For example, if you're trying to exercise, listen to your favorite music or podcast while you do it. This creates a positive association with the habit, making you more likely to stick with it. Step 4. Be consistent and patient. It takes time to build a habit, anywhere from 15 to 250 days, depending on the behavior and your individual circumstances. The first week might be easy, fueled by motivation, but consistency is what truly solidifies a habit. Don't expect overnight results. Focus on steady, consistent effort. Step 5. Practice self-compassion. It's common to have setbacks when building new habits. Instead of getting frustrated with yourself, view these moments as part of the process. Self-compassion can make it easier to get back on track rather than giving up altogether. Remember, change is a direction, not a destination. Even small improvements are better than none. Change is challenging, but it's not impossible. Even if life feels like it's throwing random obstacles your way, understanding how habits work and taking small, manageable steps can help you move forward. By setting clear goals, using triggers, making new routines enjoyable, staying consistent, and practicing self-compassion, you can start to bridge the gap between who you are now and who you aspire to be. Remember, the journey matters more than perfection. Every small step brings you closer to your dreams.